Hello guys, I'm Kiri, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about a very early example of 911 Turbo, or better known as a 930 Turbo. This particular car here today is a 1975 bronze metallic 3-liter turbo engine, and also is one of the very first UK supplied right-hand drive car, which makes it absolutely rare 930 Turbo. In 2-3 years time, this 930 Turbo will be 50 years old. Can you imagine, guys, this car's turning 50 years? These 1975 cars are much more valuable not only because are the very early cars, but because Porsche intention on that time was a little bit different. In 1970s, Porsche was unbeatable in almost every race, but the sporting version Carrera 2.7 RS was already old model, so they decided to put turbo engine into the 911 chassis. Because 1970s were the turbo era, so for the 1976 race season, FIA regulation for Group 4 was 400 road-going cars to be built. And Porsche built these 400 homologation 9-turbo cars to the end of 1975. And of course, FIA approved the car for the 1976 season. So this car here in front of us is one of these homologation special 930 Turbo built in 1975. These 400 cars built in 1975 are very special because, let's say again, they've been built to homologate the Group 4 Porsche 1976 racing car. The price of the car in 1975 wasn't very high because Porsche needed not only to build these 400 cars, but to sell them as well. So that's why these very early 1975 customers were very lucky. But then the car became very popular, was like a racing car for the road, and many car enthusiasts, they just needed this car. And just a year later, after start of the production in 1975, 1000 Porsche 911 Turbo was completed on 5th of May 1976. So for 1 year, from middle of 1975 to the middle of 1976, they built 1000 cars. The turbo technology was borrowed from the Porsche 917 Can-Am car, very famous racing 917, but of course was changed and adapted into the 3-liter Carrera RS 3.0 race car. And because of this 3-liter Carrera engine engaged with the turbo, the model became popular as a 930 Turbo. So 911, but because they put this turbo engine, turbo into the 3-liter Carrera car, that's why they start to calling the name 930 Turbo. The turbo was very famous back on the time. KKK turbocharger, we know Porsche have been using these turbochargers for the race cars. So the 3-liter engine, flat 6-cylinder 2994cc, been in production only for 2 years, from 1975 to 1977. And for this period, Porsche built only 2819 cars. Then, from 1978, they enlarged the capacity to 3.3 liters, and with this big engine they stayed up to the end of the 930 production in 1989. From 1978 to 1989, Porsche built 18,770 cars with the big 3.5-liter engine. By the way, the model should be renamed to 933 Turbo because of the 3.3-liter, but this never happened. And actually all Porsche 911 Turbo from 75 to 89 are known as a 930 Turbo, with total production number 21,589 cars, 3-liter and 3.3 liters. Let's say again, from the early 3-liter versions they made just 2,819 cars, and from the late, from 1978 to the 1989 to the end of the production, 18,770, which makes in total 21,589 cars. The car actually is very rare. But the car here in front of us is a, how we said early, very early example 3-liter model, and is the most desirable car. Also, these early 3-liter cars are with 4-speed manual transmission only. Later on, Porsche changed to 5-speed, But all 3-liter cars are 4-speed manual, and they are very light as well. So just 1,210 kilograms. Just for reference, we have to say the late 911 turbo cars are 1,380 kilograms, so near 1.4 ton. So it's big difference. 1,210 kilograms, producing 260 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 329 Newton meters of torque. The compression is very low, just 6.5 to 1, but this is normal for a racing turbo engine. The pressure of the turbo wasn't set to a very high number, but this is understandable to keep the engine reliable and to make the car more drivable, of course. But again, the turbo lack was a fact, so you need to be very good driver and to have quite experience with this specific turbo car to extract the maximum from the capacity of the car. This was one of the reasons in 1978 to enlarge the capacity to 3.3 liters to minimize the turbo lag and to make the car more safer and easy to drive for the unexperienced drivers. The car was very fast, even the 3-liter early version, from 0 to 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour, just 5.2 seconds. From 0 to 160 km per hour, 100 miles per hour, 11.8 seconds, and 0 to 200 km per hour, 124 miles per hour, 19.8 seconds. The maximum speed was 250 km per hour or 155 miles per hour. For 1975 year, this was the fastest accelerating car in the world. Let's say again, early 3-liter version, 0 to 60 miles per hour or 96 km per hour, 4.9 seconds, 62 miles per hour or 100 km per hour, 5.2 seconds. Later versions, 3.3, even was a little bit slow from 0 to 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour, 5.4 seconds, because was a little bit heavy car. But also this car was accelerating quicker than the Lamborghini Countach, which was for the 1974 early model Lamborghini Countach, from 0 to 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour, 5.4 seconds. So the same like the very late version 911 Turbo. But the early versions for these 2 years, 1975 to 1977, the acceleration 911 Turbo was much more better than Lamborghini Countach, 5.2 versus 5.4 for Lamborghini Countach seconds. But then later 3.3 liter version had the higher maximum speed, 260 km per hour or 162 miles per hour. Was normal, the car has 40 horsepower more, so 300 horsepower than the 3-liter version's 260 horsepower. Of course, many versions and updates had been done to 911 930 Turbo, was long time in production, some 15 years, but always the first, the original, is more desirable, more collectible, much more appreciated as well. Probably the last versions are the best, like every other model. They are more refined, more drivable, but again, there is something special about the early examples, not only for this particular model, but for every car model. The early examples are probably the most desirable cars. Very interesting is the story about the very first examples of 911 Turbo for the American market, which actually been delivered 1 year later in 1976. So for Europe, the model was 1975, but in America the car went 1 year later in 1976, because the Americans, they like the name Carrera, sounds very American actually. So the first cars, 911, 930, been delivered to America, they've been badged as a Turbo Carrera, still Carrera in existence. So was very cool actually. The car being presented for the public for the very first time at the 1974 Paris Motor Show in October. But just like an idea or concept car, And then we said they had very short time to put the car into production because they needed to make these 400 cars for homologation, to homologate actually the racing car for 1976 season. And that's why they built the car actually very quick. And one of these 400 homologation special car is this bronze metallic Porsche 911 930 Turbo here in front of us. The car actually is very in original spec, how it left the factory in 1975. Bronze metallic color, white leather interior, Fuchs alloy 15-inch alloy wheels with Pirelli Cinturato P7 tires, front 205 50-15, on the back 225 50-15. Now about the tires. These Pirelli Cinturato P7 tires are low profile tires, and we know very good one of the first car in the world to have low profile tires was a Lamborghini Countach, but Walter Wolf edition. So this very well known on that time, 1970s, Walter Wolf. He had a Formula 1 team even, so he ordered brand new Lamborghini, but he wasn't very happy, so he ordered special edition Lamborghini Countach with extended wheel arches and low profile tires. So that's why Pirelli make this specially, they developed these specially low profile tires for the Walter Wolf. But on the same year, Porsche 911 Turbo was with the same low profile tires. So Lamborghini Countach actually and Porsche 911 Turbo are the first cars 1975 with low profile Pirelli Cinturato tires. It's very cool. Again, really is very cool to see the absolute original 50 years old car. Well, it's resprayed with new decals, new leather interior, but is how was made in 1975. Also, with these very cool 1970s fog lights fixed under the front bumper, really amazing. This particular car was the high spec, actually Porsche 930 911 Turbo, luxury leather interior, electric windows, radio, beige, very thick carpet, outside metallic paint, decals, fog lights, we said, and very posh headlight jet washers. The side mirror, just one mirror actually, on the driver's side, is just amazing, round chrome style, very beautiful. The very early examples of very early cars actually like this probably cost 4 or 5 times more than the late cars. They are very rare, and to find one today is really very hard. Many of them being destroyed, and even it's very hard to find not only 1975 car but 3-liter engine 930 Turbo. How we said earlier, they've been in production from 1975 to 1977. So guys, I hope you liked the video about this very early example Porsche 911 930 Turbo. If you like, please subscribe my channel, and see you next time guys. Bye!